Got some new boys and reeds I'm going to install on my Banshee. This is a 2004 Banshee. You're going to need two sets of reeds because there's two carburetors and two reed valves on this. To get them off, basically, you're just going to have to remove the carburetor, take off this screw, and loosen this screw up here. And then slide the rubber boot out and slide the carb out and undo these 4 Allen bolts. And then pop off that intake piece right there. Now that you've got that rubber boot taken off and have the carb slid out, you want to shut off your fuel right there, make sure it's horizontal and off, and then take off your fuel line right there. And then on Banshees, there's your choke crossover tube right there. Make sure you don't lose that and make sure you reinstall it. There's both carbs disconnected, out of the way, and then this just pops out, and then those are your reed valves sitting right there. Pull that out and then pull each reed out individually. If you want to reuse those gaskets, make sure you don't damage those. You really should replace them though if you have spares. If not, order them with reeds. Basically with aftermarket reeds, with anything that's like a stock type reed that doesn't come with a new cage, you aren't going to see much of performance gain. Maybe a little bit better throttle response. They just open and close a little bit quicker. Maybe, you know, only the most experienced riders are going to be able to tell the difference with reeds. The reason I went with Boysen rather than the V-Force, because the V-Force is like $250. These weren't anywhere near that. I'm just looking for more of a maintenance than I am a performance. I'm more than happy with the power that I have with the Banshee now. There's no reason to add any more to it as of now. So I'm just doing it as more of a routine maintenance thing because I'm just expecting my reeds to break soon. I'm going to keep the stock ones just in case these ones break. Then I have the stock ones to put back in, but I don't want to lose out on ride time because I didn't replace them, because the Banshee's going on 7-8 years old now, so I'm replacing them just as maintenance. And there's what the rubber boot intake looks like, and then there's the reed valve with the reed valve gasket. You're just going to pop out those 2 screws. You're going to keep the holder on for these particular reeds, take the stock reed pedals off, and then put the new ones on. And there's the stock reed pedals on the left versus the carbon fiber super stock Boysen reeds on the right. Now I'm going to install the new reeds. Just make sure they lay flat completely. These screws are very weak, so when you retighten them, make sure that you just snug them up. Don't tighten them too much because it'll crush the reed pedals and it'll strip out the screw. I'm going to replace the reeds on the other side. Now repeat the same process on the other reed cage. Now you're going to reinstall your reed valve gasket and then reinstall your reed cage. Now install your rubber intake boots and then the screws. I do 2 and just screw them in about that far, diagonal from each other, and then install 2 on the other one. And that way it gives you a little wiggle room in case you need to get them lined up. Make sure that you use a good gasket. It's okay to reuse it as long as it's in good shape, but that's a really common spot for intake leaks. So if your gasket's messed up, don't try and reuse it. Just spend a couple bucks on a new gasket, or if you're in a bind, you can actually use RTV or something along those lines to seal it, but I'd recommend a gasket. Reinstall your 4 screws on each one. Make sure they're tightened down. I tighten them down with the Allen key like that as hard as I can, and then put it like this, give it another quarter turn, and that's about as tight as they need to be. After you get those 4 screws installed on each one, put your carb back in, put your crossover tube in, hook your fuel lines back up, hook your overflow tubes back up, put the new rubber piece for the intake between the carb and the air box. Turn your fuel back on and make sure it runs.